Alright, hello everybody. My name is David, and today I'm going to be playing for you Resident Evil Village. I'm going to be speedrunning the whole game. This is by no means a serious speedrun. I will be using the best weapon in the game, New Game Plus, playing on the easiest difficulty, all of that stuff. Right here I just plan to play the game in its entirety, skip all cutscenes, and also maybe just speak to you softly about how most speedruns of this game usually go. Maybe it'll help you fall asleep, maybe it'll help you even speedrun the game yourself. So without further ado, let us get started. We're gonna hit load game here. We're gonna go to this one, which is the completed game, save slot 3. As you can see, we can pick our difficulty. We're just gonna go with casual, load the selected data. So once again, this is by no means a serious speed run. I will be using the strongest Magnum in the game. Again, I am playing on easiest difficulty. I will be skipping all of these cutscenes. If you wish to see the story, there are tons of other videos out there to watch, or you can just play the game yourself.
Nothing. I'll put her down.
This game is very good, and I would put it as one of my top 5 horror games.
There. It's like I said to your mom.
You may be wondering
too scary for you.
why I am choosing to play this game, a horror game, and speak to you softly about
Almost
it.
There,
How is it supposed to help you sleep? Well, I'm not really sure, but most people find voices that are softly speaking relaxing, so I hope
There you go, sweetheart.
that happens to all of you.
Don't you worry.
And
I'll
of
be
course,
right
you can
downstairs.
just use this as
Daddy
a
won't let
general
those
guide
fairy
for
tale monsters get
how to
you.
speedrun Resident Evil 8. I don't know all of the tricks in the book, but I will be showing you small things that I have learned, such as taking corners. And this movement speed is actually much faster than the regular movement speed because of something I'll explain later. We're gonna go ahead and skip this. But if you'd like to know what so far the story is, well, actually, if you're watching this video, I'm sure you don't care for spoilers, but I'll just say spoiler alert right now. Long story short, Mia and I were about to have dinner, me and Ethan, right? But then Chris Redfield came in, shot Mia, and took our baby for unknown reasons that we will find out later, and I shall tell you what those reasons were when we get to that point where we find out. But for right now, we are in this weird villa in somewhere in Europe, but right now we are moving towards our end goal, which will be a shed. And also to count the time of how fast I am going, just to show you, at the top you'll see the timer. As you can see, in-game time will keep counting down. As of right now, I'm at 1:57 seconds. At the end of the game, it shall tell me what my in-game time is. That's just for me to keep track. I know a lot of speedrunners use what's called live split to help keep track of their times and checkpoints. I don't really try to use that. I just go off of in-game time, and overall, it's worked out fine. So we see all these dead birds, usually an omen. The first time I went through this, I was definitely scared, but if you saw earlier how many games I completed, which was around 12, I'm pretty sure, well, I've just become numb to all the horror elements of this game. Maybe me lowering all of the audio, or well, most of it, because I'm pretty sure you can still hear. I'm sure lowering the audio and me speaking to you somewhat softly will help you and not feel as scared. And oftentimes they say when you're in a situation where it's quite scary, if you just rush through all of it, it's not as scary as anymore. But all of this stuff we don't have to check out. Maybe on your first playthrough you will, but there's no reason to. every single time you go through this game, when you choose to speedrun it, you just always have to come down here and check this closet cabinet that we're coming up to. Spam the A key. Hold back and press B to do a quick 180. And then something steps up there, which we don't know what it is yet, but we should find out later. But you just keep going, crouch down, and this small cutscene that sometimes cutscenes will play that can't be skipped. This is one of them. Honestly, I don't have it really down as to which ones are skippable, but I know this one is. You'll often see me pausing accidentally when it looks like there is a cutscene. That's me trying to skip it. So I hope that doesn't happen too much, but just letting you know, it might. But alright, now we're moving at really fast speeds. Like I said, I shall explain later as to why that's the reason. But it has to do with something with New Game Plus. Also, to bring it back, I think in terms of Europe, we're somewhere in Romania, I believe. So that's just something to keep in mind. So right here, pretty sure I can take out my weapon, which as you can see is the Magnum and the grenade launcher. These two weapons, oh, and also the rocket pistol. The knife doesn't really matter. But these three weapons will be essential.
Maybe they're out.
And they will come together. Anywho, that me going into that room and coming back out caused the trigger where Ethan says that voice line. That's why I immediately ran out, and it moved the carriage and that horse. That carriage and horse were blocking a path that has now been opened.
What happened?
That is the reason why I'm running through all of this right now. I should also mention that I haven't really played Resident Evil Village in a while, so I may do some minor mistakes in my speedrun that I hope I can remedy quickly because of all the muscle memory. But anywho, skip this cutscene where we meet a guy who is unfortunately, spoiler alert, did not make it. We encounter our first Lycan, but as you can see, the Magnum is just so strong as I've upgraded it fully that basically any enemy on casual difficulty will go down in a single shot, which makes this speedrun all the more fun and much more beginner friendly, if you want to call it that. But anywho, over here for this, you want to go upstairs and then to this window, which will cause a Lycan to appear. Come back downstairs, run to this window, a Lycan will spawn in, one will spawn in inside, kill him. After that's done, if you don't even have to kill this one outside, they will all despawn. Usually, on your first playthrough, you might be stuck here for a while, but that's all you have to do. Go to the upstairs window, then head to the downstairs one. Come back inside the room, like the living room, where the first Lycan will spawn inside, kill that one, and that will end the encounter way faster. So we're gonna run over here, drop down instead of taking the ladder. Dropping down instead of taking ladders is by far the fastest method of getting down said areas, which I'm pretty sure the game devs did not plan for many times. So when you drop down, you take no fall damage, no matter the height, and I shall show you that in a later spot. But for right now, this single part of the speedrun is like one of the weirdest ones because there's like an invisible timer, I'm pretty sure, going off, and once it hits a certain time, one event will happen, which I shall show you soon, and then the second event, which ends this entire encounter, will happen, but it always seems to be random for me for when the encounter ends. So Ethan said there's no end to them. I'm not sure if that's like a trigger for something that's supposed to happen over here. No. So something's supposed to spawn there. You shall see it soon, not to worry. But for right now, we're just gonna keep infinitely killing these lichens, which, yes, are infinitely spawning. We're also getting shot at with arrows. The good thing about having this fully upgraded Magnum is not only does it kill people in one shot, it also has a ridiculous magazine size, which you may be thinking, well, why are you always reloading it? Well, it's just something I do in most FPS games. Not to mention the fact that I also have infinite ammo turned on for this weapon, so ammo is never an issue. Same with the rocket pistol and the grenade launcher, all infinite ammo. So we're just gonna keep on killing, and oh, there's the first encounter, which I like to call Abraham Lincoln for some reason. I think it's mostly the beard that makes me think. Until you destroy that tree, usually on your first playthrough, you'll be running around, go back inside the house to avoid him. But because we have this massive weapon that is just so strong, we shoot him once. I missed twice, and there he goes. He goes down, but not dead. Not actually dead. But if you do kill him, as you can see, you can get 35,000 whatever it is, money for the in-game shop that they have. So it is a cool thing that they added, that if you manage to somehow kill him on your first playthrough, you will get a substantial bonus. But for right now, we're just waiting for the second trigger, which could happen at random, I'm pretty sure, but I am moving around because I am fairly certain that it triggers when you move, and only when you move. So right now they kind of stopped spawning a little. There's one here. Should happen soon. As I said, it is a degree of randomness. At least it seems like it every single time I play through it. And I don't know if it has anything to do with the fact that I'm killing these lichens. Oh, there it is. Fantastic. So yes, we get shot at with an arrow, but because we're a Resident Evil protagonist, we are absolutely unfazed. Here we see a hand, but we're just gonna skip our cutscene. I walked into the gate on accident. But for now, she tells us that our child Rose is in fact here, so we have to go find her. So first things first, we come into the church, grab the maiden crest. There's typewriters for saving. I will not be saving this playthrough. It wastes time. There's no such thing as a safety save on the easiest difficulty. So we're just gonna truck on through. Hop over this fence. There are lichens in these fields, but because we're so fast, they just completely avoid us. But anywho, there's that woman and her father. Climb up these stone steps. We're going to open the gate. Skip the cutscene again. Open this door. And now we're just waiting. Over here we can see some pictures of the village before everything turned kind of sour. Some good world building. But we wait for her to open this door and lead us to the room full of people. There we go, there's the cutscene trigger. Now this guy's a lichen, so in order to get the cutscene to trigger faster, we're gonna walk towards him and immediately skip. So right now the house is on fire. We need to find the truck key, which is right here, and also a screwdriver inside. We're gonna immediately head over here.
The fire's moving fast.
Use the truck key, skip, spam the forward key, forward movement, whatever it is, the W key or pushing forward on the L stick. Immediately skip, climb up here, Another skip, and that woman and her father are dead.
I just don't get it.
We're just gonna keep on going here, skipping all of these cutscenes. That screwdriver that we got inside shall be used right here to open up this little prayer box, I suppose. Grab the demon crest and open up this gate. Now, that cutscene that I just skipped will introduce us to Mother Miranda, which is the main antagonist of Resident Evil Village, which we skipped her cutscene intro. It is very good storytelling. If you do get this game and play it on your own, or go on YouTube to find the movie cut of this game, it is very good storytelling. But anywho, we're gonna go to the top one, use the demon crest first, turn it for it to be upright, then the maiden crest, and then the doors will open.
Nothing but blood and death. Huh?
So we're gonna open this door, which will trigger another cutscene where we get kidnapped by the main antagonists, the sub-bosses, if you want to call it. But we'll just look at this cutscene for a second, just to introduce the main ones. But as you can see, these are quite the characters that we have in this. But we're not going to watch this cutscene. All you need to know is the one on the right was Monroe, I believe his name. The doll in front of us is Angie. The one on the right with the hat is Heisenberg. And the left is everyone's favorite mother, Lady Dimitrescu. I never really learned how to say it. But anywho, we're going to skip this cutscene and run for our lives.
Ah, Jesus Christ!
That's right. Run for your life. Very nice, Ethan.
Here's Abraham Lincoln again. We're gonna skip his cutscene, go over to this piece of wood, kick it down,
Shit!
and keep running. The ceiling is caving in after all.
You
So
truly are as strong as they
here
say.
we have to run to the end of the room,
You don't think
trigger
I'd let you get
that trap,
away?
and then just hide in this corner.
Gotta keep Donna and Moreau entertained. So now it's time for the beautiful, blood-soaked grand finale. Nothing like fresh American ground beef.
It's pretty good. I do have to say though that it makes no sense that clearly those spikes on the left should have cut into the hole that we were in. But this is a video game.
do those
We're
freaks
a
have rose?
protagonist. We have plot armor and all that. But we're just gonna go ahead and run through. Once again, we do have our weapons, even though we were kidnapped, which makes no sense. But we're just gonna keep trucking along and say thank you to the nice antagonist for letting us keep them. Unlock this door, and finally pull the lever over here. This will open this door that will lead us to the castle. But anywho, here is the Duke. He is the shop merchant. We unfortunately will not be using his services, but he is very essential for your first and maybe even second playthrough. But as you can see there, that was a example of a unskippable cutscene that looked like one, but it wasn't.
Could Rose be here?
But we're gonna go ahead and run through this quickly. Hear a scream off in the distance. Now reading this plaque is what triggers the next cutscene. As you can see, I can't move, but that will trigger the cutscene. we get hooked, get some one-on-one time with Lady Dimitrescu. So what we do is immediately look to our right hand and press the E button. And I know this cutscene is also very much unskippable, which it should be, but it chooses not to be.
Crazy witches.
This may be a good time to also explain that each fight with the main antagonist is very unique, and I have to say that I do like that about this game, that not every encounter is the same when you meet up with the 4 final creatures, and you'll see that exasperated, I believe is the word, when we meet the second encounter, and definitely the 4th, but we'll get to that when we get to it. But for right now, we're gonna go ahead and crawl through this crawl space. Get the maroon key before the door opens, inspect it, and get the eye from it. Now we have the eye. We're going to squeeze on through. Admire the Dark Souls piece of armor Easter egg. Very nice. And come outside and come upstairs. But first things first, we are going to unlock this door, and I shall show you later. Overall, always unlock doors when they are locked, even if you feel like they shouldn't be. I believe. Oh, this door is already open. Never knew about that. But that door is not important just yet. First, we're going to come over here and implant the maroon eye. We're going to walk into the door, which will trigger a cutscene involving one of the daughters. But we're just going to completely ignore her, run backwards to this corner of the room, and then jump down. Which turned out fine. Now, we're going to see Lady Dimitrescu over here. But conveniently, she turns around and walks through a door. And if you listen closely, there it is. She clicked, which meant she locked the door, so we can't follow her. But we're going to go ahead and do a small little puzzle where hit it over there. Oh, and thank you to the physics, it managed to light the other one. Now this area might seem familiar for those who have seen the demo of the game. At first it was scary when you probably saw it for the first time, but when you've played this game as much as I have, it's just not as scary. I am Misty Shot. But we're just gonna go ahead and shoot that person out. They're gonna make attempts to swing at us, but because we're so fast, they just completely miss. Now to trigger,
I can't believe Cassandra caused
I don't
all
even know
this
her name,
mess.
but we're just gonna let her trigger. She's gonna spawn in. She can go through these bars, but we're just gonna ignore that because we're so
You're
fast.
tonight's main dish.
And then once we get to this area, it's another cutscene. Now because they are made of bugs, the cold outside makes them vulnerable, where one shot completely destroyed them. So that's the first mini boss, I guess you can call it. We're gonna grab this Sanguine Virginis, I believe is a wine. Correct me if I'm wrong. But we're just gonna grab that, completely ignore the items, and come along this way. Open this door. Go upstairs to the wine room and set it on a pedestal. That'll open up this door, which will give us some items, but most importantly, we're going to need this courtyard key. Now, before we go on downstairs, I'm going to load up a flashbang round, which normally most people don't do, but I shall use it because it is very annoying to get past her. But we're gonna go ahead and flashbang the ground, which she will be stunned for. Come along to the courtyard itself, unlock the door, and we move through. So now we're outside and she can't chase us. We're gonna come to this part, open this door. There is Lady Domitresk again. Now usually, because we're not this fast during a new game, we can't actually see it, but we see her turn that corner if you had a quick eye, and she's nowhere to be found except right there. So she's clearly angry, but first things first, we're gonna solve this puzzle, which is always the same. You point the hooded woman to the right, the woman with the glass to the left, and these three men to the right. That will drain this pool of blood. We shall stand right here to drop down, and then drop down over here.
What the
Now,
hell?
there are enemies that spawn in the water, but we're just gonna go ahead and use the glorious aim assist to tell us specifically where these enemies are spawning. Usually I would run through this much faster, but because I have not sped ran this game in a while, like I said earlier, I'm just not going to do that. Except for these, because, well, I'm just confident. Kill this one, pull the hook, and we shall be taken upwards. I'm going to shimmy ourselves across this balcony, skip this cutscene, grab this key, open this door, and that'll trigger a cutscene which we shall skip.
Go ahead, do your worst.
And I believe, yep, this way. I'm gonna go ahead and crawl through. Open up this gate. Now we're gonna open this lever, and a cutscene plays, and our arm has been cut off. My goodness. Poor Ethan. But we're just gonna go ahead and bait Lady Domitresk to come over yonder. We're just gonna run to the gate. Grab our hand and patiently wait for this door to take its sweet time opening up. Now usually Lady Domitresk the first time around will cut through these bars that are to my left, but she did not do that because she was so close to where we were at that gate that the game doesn't teleport her to those bars to cut us off. But anywho, we have the Mask of Sorrow, which we will be using later. And this is another unskippable cutscene. I do have to say that by far the craziest thing about him reattaching his hand isn't necessarily the fact that he reattached his hand, but rather it looks as though his jacket also got sewn back together, which is completely insane. But we're just gonna ignore that little tidbit and keep on going. Let's take our weapon out. Now we're gonna run through here, take this enemy out because they could become annoying later on. We're gonna come play the piano, which thankfully this puzzle does not immediately kick you if you are horrible. It gives you as many tries as you want. Anywho, we play a nice melody and we get the Iron Insignia key. Now, it's kind of debated as to which one is faster, but I usually like to take the top route and get as close as possible to this corner, and the door is not opening, and I think I'm stuck. Come on, let me out. It seems I'm stuck completely. Oh, there's one way I believe to fix this. Oh, there it is. a little stuck. She's a little too big, which I heard is the reason why a lot of people like her. Later. But anywho, this is the second vampire fight. We're gonna open up the windows up top and shoot him once. There we go. That's a second daughter down, and we get the Mask of Joy. So we're gonna come through here, and next up is the bell puzzle, which is... Okay, I hit that one. So there's one bell. There's the second one. I am playing on controller, by the way. There's the third one. The fourth one is over there. And the fifth one is right there. And those are the 5 bells to open up this painting. But we're gonna go ahead and shimmy up this ladder. Now, right behind me is the location for the sniper rifle. Actually, no, it's right here where this giant pile of money is. So you can't miss it on your first playthrough. But anywho, we're just gonna go ahead and go through this upper castle area very quickly. There are these harpy creatures that do spawn in, and they can get very annoying, but again, we are running really fast, so it does not necessarily matter that if we take them out or not, because they have no chance to attack us. But we're just gonna run up here and take this zip line, convenient zip line in my lab. And also use it with the hand that has part of it bitten off. We're gonna take the Mask of Rage, which we then kick down this ladder, but we're not gonna take the ladder. We're just gonna hug the left side and jump immediately down. And just a guard just in case, but we did not get hit, so it all works out. But soon it'll come into play about why I unlocked that door earlier. If the door was not unlocked, I'd have to walk backwards and have to somehow circle around her, which happened to me on my first playthrough. But luckily I did it, so... But now that I know that you can unlock that door. But anywho, we're gonna go over here, use the... Not that key, that's the wrong one. I'm gonna use the dummy trust key. Open it up, and grab the Mask of Pleasure. Now we're gonna crouch down here, get the grenade launcher round ready. This is the third boss fight room. We're gonna move that cabinet, use the grenade launcher on the wall, and then just do a quick shot on the third boss. There's the third boss. And we are going to also take the mounted skull, take it off its hinges, and we shall use it to replace the position where the mask was.
Crazy witch.
Run through here, come down here, over here, and then use
Okay,
the animal
I
skull,
should be able to get out with these.
and then there we go. Now, Dummy Trusk is here, and we're gonna just quickly get her attention.
The entire bloodline of House Domitress is
And
done
I
in by the
Get
likes
through.
of
There we
you.
go. It also should be mentioned that on casual, your health will regenerate on its own. At a small rate, but it does regenerate. So we're going to use the Mask of Pleasure on the 4, the Mask of Sorrow? Nope, it's not the Sorrow one. Was it this one? Nope. Sorrow, there we go. Rage on this one? Nope, it's not there. Rage and Joy. So it seems to be Sorrow, Pleasure, Joy, and Rage. But anywho, that door is gonna open up. I'm assuming she's right behind us. Ah, there she is. Just standing there menacingly. Is she chasing us? She is indeed. But it doesn't matter because once we get outside, she will not follow us here due to story reasons. That story, by the way, is right here. There is a cutscene that will play after this that will show why she comes outside, but we're gonna skip it.
Looks like
and
you're
now
outside.
we're
Imagine
in Dark
you're
Souls
inside.
again. So we're just gonna keep shooting her, which will trigger the second phase of this boss. And now we're here. She will land. We just keep shooting Magnum rounds into her. Eventually, she will chase us around this corner and hopefully smash through the castle right here. There she goes. We shoot her again, which apparently she recoiled really hard for. We're just gonna run through again to this outside. Just gonna smash through again. There we go. So now she's outside. We have no place to be inside. And then we just keep mag dumping into her. But she will fly off. But thanks to aim assist, we can easily hit these shots on her. She will fly off to the right. There she is. That will trigger a cutscene. There it is. You can tell by the light changing that we were teleporting. But we're gonna run up here to trigger the third phase, I suppose you can call it. But she's currently spinning around us.
Don't be shy. Show me your terror. No time to die.
But there we go. She has broken through. And then just keep shooting into her. And when she drops all that blood, cutscene will trigger, and that's the boss fight.
You're the one who's cursed.
Then we're going to grab this specimen, which we later find out is part of our daughter. Another unskippable cutscene.
Looks like I'm getting out of this place.
But now we're just gonna go ahead and run through.
Rose.
Pop the lock. Now, during my first playthrough, I didn't realize that these fish can be killed and collected. And now comes the part where I tell you why I'm so fast. Eventually, when you get enough ingredients of food, you can go to the Duke where he will cook food for you, which will give you different buffs like increasing your health or reduce the damage you take from blocking or when you block. And one of the last upgrades that you get is permanently increasing your movement speed, and that's why I'm so fast. New Game Plus allows you to keep all of those buffs, and therefore I am very fast in New Game Plus, therefore making this speedrun much faster, and making New Game Plus in some way much more fun than New Game, but I know of several people who would rather play a new game as a speedrun, which is actually way better than the New Game speedrun because it encourages adaptability to different things like, oh, I may not get the ammo I need, or there's this enemy in this specific part that is blocking my way, I need to adapt to this. So Resident Evil speedruns are definitely a joy to play through. But here we meet the Duke again, and he explains to us that the Dirty Flask is part of our daughter, which in the cutscene Ethan expresses very much that he does not feel okay with it. So the Duke tells us to find the the house with the red chimney, which happens to be right there. But as you can see, this gate is locked, so we're gonna have to take a detour, which will be over here. Now we're gonna run through all of this, ignore the sounds of crashing, open this up right here. There's an enemy to our right, we'll just shoot him for safety. Pop the lock. Now there's a code lock right here. I don't remember it, but the way to solve it is right there. It's 0704 and 08. And yes, that lichen will spawn there if you decide to aim in. Oops, sorry about that. But we shall open this up. This is also where we find, I think, the first Magnum. I could be wrong, or I think it's the better pistol. But what's really important is the jack handle. So we're gonna just run through these lichens that are spawning right behind us. Use the jack handle, crouch, and hopefully not get grabbed from behind. And there we go. Just crawl through. Now, this is a trick that I learned. First, we're gonna reload a explosive cartridge. Then we're gonna aim at this specific area right there. And what that should have done is blown open a lock that was behind here and holding that door closed. And that's an easy way to just skip at least 10 minutes of exploring on your first run through. But we're gonna drop down here, take out this lichen, and then open up this. And we see here that the key that we got, the winged key, is actually a set of 4. So here's the second part, and now we have the 4 winged key.
Damn it. Better see the Duke again.
So we're gonna go ahead and unlock this door and unlock this gate. Now, for a casual player, that area of the village is now fully explorable. They can go there to loot, find more items, maybe more lore pieces. But for our purposes, we just needed the key. Now we're with the Duke, and he informs us that each key is held by each house in the village. One by Moreau, one by Lady Domitress, one by Angie the doll, and one by Heisenberg, who isn't marked on the map just yet. But we're gonna go ahead and skip this cutscene, and we're gonna go to Angie the doll first, because as of right now we only have the 4 winged key, which, as you can see, is the only one that opens this door. Now, Angie is by far the scariest encounter in the Resident Evil game. My first playthrough, I did not expect her encounter to be the way that it was, but I am glad that it was the way that it was. And you shall see why soon, if you haven't seen anything about this game yet.
Ethan.
What?
But as you can see,
Come with me.
Ethan is
There's something I
clearly
have to tell you.
having
Mia?
an episode,
What's going on?
as Mia is dead and Rose is taken, put into those flasks. So we are clearly hallucinating.
Rose feels different.
Ethan, you have to fix her.
What the hell is this?
Everyone leaves me. Even Rose. I don't want to be alone.
This can't be real.
But yes, that was a quick thing. Now, there is a small puzzle here.
Am I losing it?
Not really, but the sign on the right says that we need to lose our possessions, and right now our possessions is our family photo. That will always be the same no matter what.
What's going on?
We're gonna go ahead and take this elevator to the top. And it seems as though we have a friend. Come with me, Ethan. Fantastic. But anywho, we're gonna shimmy on over to the house. But yeah, here we are at House Beneviento, which Angie is the doll, and Donna Beneviento is right there, as you can see. But we're not going to explore this house. As far as I know, there's nothing lootable anyways. We're just going to run through the back corridors over here to this one area, this elevator. We're going to walk backwards, I suppose, and activate the elevator to go down to the basement level. Reload, why not? Reload this as well. Just something to do. But we're gonna go ahead and run through to this area. And there's Angie the doll, and we're gonna attempt to take the flask, but we can't do that.
Been waiting for so long. I'd make a much better daughter than Rose. Please, won't you stay with me forever?
What?
But now Angie is
Wait,
gone,
where's my gun?
and now we have to solve a bit of a puzzle. Now, if I am correct, it's only this that matters. Yes. So we need the winding key. Now, usually, you'd get a silver key, get that ring that's on that person's finger, and come over here to, or go into the next room, wash the ring, and then you get the number for what it is, for what this code is. But I can always tell you that it is always May 29th, 2011. Or 11, I suppose. But we're gonna go over here, come through the door that just opened, and put the winding key to
Why is this
use. Now, to solve this puzzle, there are etches to the left and to the right. We need to match up the etches with the music box to the etches on the right, which I believe is like this. There we go. Then we're gonna play. There we go. We get a pair of tweezers. What we're gonna go ahead and run through. The painting on the right is gonna fall. There it goes. And then use the tweezers on this person's mouth, which is actually Mia, because as you can see the dead photo right there of her. But we're gonna go ahead and grab this piece of film. The radio is gonna turn on. We're gonna see Mia over there, which she is a hallucination, so she just disappears. And run through to this back room where we're going to use the piece of film. Now, I don't remember exactly the solution, so we're going to look at the solution, I suppose. Best friend, fairy tale, so it'll be the bear, book, baby, box. Okay, so bear, book, baby, and the box. There we go. Alright, well, that's the solution to that thing. We see this piece of film that shows us an area that is inside here, and it is basically telling us where to go, essentially. So we're gonna go ahead and find that area. It is quite a long piece of film, and unskippable as well. But anywho, a new corridor is going to open. We're going to go ahead and walk through, grab a pair of scissors, and cut through these bandages. There we go. Phone's going to ring, but it's not important to answer. Unlock this door. We see Mia walk across that room, and she's not even walking, she's just sliding across. Crazy. That, whatever that was, just fell. We're just gonna ignore it. Oh wait, of course, there's one thing to get. We need to cut open these bandages. Open up the chest plate, and get the brass medallion. Now, I can tell you that the solution to this will always be this king crow to the right, and then 3 closed eyes. That will always be the solution to this. The way you find out how to go through this area, by the way, is examining the Mia doll. It gives you clues as to what exactly you're supposed to go to. Now, this ladder, I'm pretty sure, is the only ladder that can't be skipped by jumping down. For some reason, I tried it before a lot, it never worked. But we're gonna grab the breaker key, hear something wooden broken, and we're gonna hear a baby cry. And oh, look at that, the crib is broken. Well my, that must mean that there's a baby nearby if I hear baby crying. Let's go find that baby. It seems the crying has stopped, and the Mia doll is gone, and ooh, there's pieces of entrail and blood going this way. I wonder what it could be. Ah, a giant fetus creature, fantastic, and it's making baby noises. Now, the first time I encountered this boss fight, I guess you can call it, was downright terrifying, but now it's more of a hindrance to the speedrun, as you can see, I have to wait for it to come all the way over here to the right side of the table, and then I can book it to where I have to go. It is very annoying time-wise, but definitely scary the first time around. But we're gonna go ahead and come over here, open the breaker with the breaker box key, and grab the baby, or the relief of a child. We're gonna come through here. A doll is gonna fall to the behind us, which we're gonna ignore, and walk through here. Angie's on the floor, but we can't interact with her. But we're gonna go ahead and walk through here, walk through this kitchen, go to the bedroom, and grab the breaker, or the fuse. We're gonna turn around in the dark. Hopefully, yes, I managed to walk through the dark a little. We hear something fall down over there. We're gonna go over here, trigger the baby to walk through that door, turn immediately around, and get into our hiding spot, which is under the bed. Now, I have seen other speedruns of people who just brute force their way through the baby as it's going through the door. I would try that, but well, we saw earlier that I tried doing it with Lady Domitresque. It did not work, so now I'm not confident in doing it here. So we're just going to do the safety method of just waiting under the bed until the baby comes through. There it is, making odd baby noises. And most of you may be wondering why this baby is here at all. Anyway, right now's the time to go. You may be wondering why this baby is even a thing. It's actually supposed to represent the fear that Ethan feels that his child has become. He thinks that Rose has now become a complete monstrosity after she's been taken by these other monstrosities. So that baby is essentially a hallucination, but the threat is very much real. So we're just gonna run through all of this and go into essentially the final phase, which is installing the breaker, or the fuse. The baby will spawn right there, so what we do to allow for the elevator to come down is come to this side of the table, wait for the baby to come through. There he is, or she is, I suppose. Gonna wait for it to turn the table just to make sure that it does do it. There we go. Turn the table. The elevator's here, so we're gonna go ahead and open the elevator and press the up key. And there, with that, we leave the baby downstairs. Now this is the second phase of the boss fight, you can call it. Which I shall explain soon, as soon as we get to the area. But here we are. Now this second phase is basically hide and seek with all of these dolls. Now every single time you do this, no matter how many times it happens in subsequent playthroughs, Angie will always spawn at this top location. No matter what, she will always be here as the first location.
Fucking monster.
We're gonna go ahead and stab her, and we have to find her 2 more times. Now the subsequent locations are random, but you can always determine where she is based on her laughter. What I usually like to do is check this area right here. She can be right here, or she can be in the back over here, which she is. Now sometimes when you're stabbing her like this, you can actually see where exactly she moves to. Unfortunately, I cannot, so I'm just gonna go check the other areas. So she's not in that corner, so we're gonna take over here, and you can hear her laughing, and there she is. And this is the last attack we have to do on her. Not skip you.
Stupid idiot! What are you doing to my cute friends?
But anywho, that whole time we were hallucinating, and we were actually killing Donna. So we're just gonna go ahead and skip the cutscene. We now have the unborn part of the key. So now we have the four-winged unborn key. We're gonna go ahead and grab that, and that's the second main lore down. So we're gonna continue on to Moreau, which is by far the most grotesque out of all of them, but we're just gonna ignore that. So we just wait for this elevator to take us back down to where we originally were. It was quite the elevator ride, wouldn't you say? Anywho, we're gonna run through most of this. Again, this area is a lot of running, much like many of the other areas in this game, but overall I think the exploration is pretty well handled. As you can see, the main path was blocked, so we were forced to take this side route, which, you know, encourages us to look for loot and valuables. But since we're not interested in any of that, we're just gonna run through most of this super fast. Some enemies will spawn from the ground and they will make a slice attempt at you, like one right here, but we're gonna hope that it doesn't. Just there it is. You gotta wait a little bit when they do their initial swing backwards for them to not catch you with the hook. But anywho, we're just gonna run past all of this and run to this side, which is where Moreau is, and use the four-winged unborn key. So here is the one shot and he's down with the Magnum. He is very much a scary encounter the first time around. Takes a lot of bullets, but this is also the area where you get the grenade launcher, so you are encouraged to take him down. But anywho, to get through this muck, we're gonna shoot past it. As you can see, there's right there, so we're gonna shoot it and climb up this ladder. Here are some pigs for the food that I was mentioning earlier. We're gonna unlock this gate and run through. Here's another safety point in case you need it. And we're gonna head on down here and take another elevator. Alright, once the override is finished, you come to the right over here through this part of the mine shaft, up these steps through here. We're gonna skip all of this cutscene. So we have the flask, but we don't have the key necessary.
freak.
So we're gonna have to go hunt down Moreau. Yeah, not that way. We have to go this way and then make a right up
How
these
do I get out of here?
stairs. And then shoot this down. We're gonna jump down from this platform. We're going to make a left over here. Shoot this man that could be very annoying. Grab the boat key and immediately run. Thanks to aim assist, I did that really weird snap upwards. On normal, I believe there is some aim assist, but not to the extreme that casual has. Casual, no matter how hard you try to look away from your enemy, it will stay dead set on them. So if you don't really want that type of experience, you just want some regular assisted aim assist on controller, just play on normal or hard. And for those wondering about the Village of Shadows, I'm pretty sure it's only unlocked after you beat the game on normal or higher. So it is in your best interest to at least play on a higher difficulty. But anywho, right here, we see
What was that?
a giant fish creature, which is actually Moreau, and he is our third boss encounter, which actually happens soon. But before that, this tent will give us a cutscene explaining that Chris Redfield and his team are here and doing research. What is that research? We don't know yet, but we'll find out soon. And by soon, I mean soon in terms of speedrun. And if you play this game casually, it might take you 3 or 4 hours. So, before we continue on, you can see those 2 yellow strips over there. We're gonna shoot that down right now, just so we don't have to do it later.
What am I supposed to do?
But we're gonna go ahead up here.
He said the exit's underwater.
Through this door. The Duke is to our right, by the way, so if you need some items for shopping, healing medicine, or ammo, he is right there. But we're gonna go ahead and keep running through. Now, fun fact, that thing is clearly in there, that crank, but it doesn't work. So what we do, oh, by the way, this is the second jump. Stick to the left and you will jump down that ladder instead of having to climb through it. But that crank is still there. We shall see that it disappears later. We're gonna shoot this and start the boss encounter. Now, if I do get hit by any part of his body, I will be knocked into the water. So, I am not gonna be making any risky moves. I'm just gonna trigger him to go through and let him go through, right? Just like that. And now, we're just gonna keep running as fast as we can through all of this. Knock down this minecart, or actually, I think it is a minecart. But there we go. Open up this case.
Thanks.
Pull this lever, which will activate a platform for us to walk past. As you can see. Now this is a time thing. If at all you fall into water, you will instantly die. Or at least get put into the cutscene that shows that you die. So what you do is you activate this white one, yellow one, blue one as fast as you can. Hit the yellow one because it's about to fall, and then just run as quickly as possible. I don't know if you can do that in casual when you have normal movement speed, but in New Game Plus, when you have the movement speed buff, you can do it. But here we're gonna make a move to the left, just to make sure we don't get caught out. And we run as fast as we can to this left side. Push down this minecart. You can. Thank you. Run up these stairs, and now because we pulled that lever down there, we now have this minecart to push through. Oh no, he's gonna jump through us, but we're not gonna pay any attention to that. Shoot down this goop, I guess you can call it. Come to the right over here. Pull up this houseboat of sorts. Or I guess it is a fishing boat.
Caught myself a big one. Need to get out of here!
Goop pops up, but we're just gonna shoot it. Reload, because why not? And shoot down below. And climb up this ladder. So this crank is here. Now, for some reason, it doesn't let you put the crank immediately. You have to examine this ladder, and then you can put the crank again on the window. We're gonna give it a good turn. This is, by the way, forced. I'm not doing anything, but you know, turn the crank. That will conveniently stop this fan like this, so we can climb up it. And since we have the crank, we can now activate the crank on the other side, the one that was broken. And we're gonna zip line through this. Moreau makes one last attempt to take us, but he clearly missed, and that's the first boss fight encounter with him down. So we're gonna give this a crank to turn on the power to the dam itself, or the reservoir wall. It is a dam, I suppose. But we're gonna go ahead over here and do a little puzzle. Now the solution is right there, but I just like to brute force this. You know, you get the right combination when at the top you get a yellow square, so we're just gonna keep going until we get it all right. And now we pull this lever, and the dam will rise up, letting out the water.
Got it.
Moreau, as you can see, is clearly not happy that we released all this water. We'll take some pot shots. I'm not really sure if this does anything, but it makes me feel better, so. But as you can see, all the water is gone, so he can't swim through it. But we're just gonna go ahead and head on here. I believe here is where you get the revolver, but because we already have the weapon, it's just replaced with a sack of money. Anywho, we run to the right here, which will trigger the boss fight encounter. And then all we have to do is just, once again, like every boss so far, just completely unload bullet after bullet into his mouth. And that's the bot. That's the boss fight down.
Up ahead.
So, as you can already tell by my use of it in this playthrough, this weapon is by far the best. So we're gonna get the fourth part of the winged key, making the 6-winged unboard key. Heisenberg is gonna contact us, telling us to, basically summoning us to his lair. He basically put his own flask as bait, basically as a test to make sure that we're up for whatever scheme he has. So we're gonna follow through with that and go on ahead. elevator ride is done, we can continue on. To the right of me is more lootable stuff, but we're gonna ignore that. We're just gonna head on through this area. As you can see, Heisenberg is clearly leading us somewhere. So we're just gonna follow these signs. By the way, that's the room where you find the grenade launcher. You use the iron insignia key to open it up. There are goats behind me. That's also for ingredients for the food. So be sure to hunt those when you need those buffs. But yes, we're gonna open this up. Now, this path to my left leads to a sub-boss, I suppose you can call it. That'll give you a lot of money. There's also some stuff to loot, like ammo and valuables to sell for money. So be sure to check that out. The Lycan will fall in front of us. We're just gonna ignore him. At this point, there's a lot of Lycans right behind us, but we're just gonna not pay attention to them. Instead, we're gonna head to the right, not left. Up this ramp, we're going to take out this archer Lycan. Completely ignore this one to the left. And head on up these stairs on my left. We're gonna pull this lever first, then drop down, take the ladder, whatever it is. Oops. Excuse me, sir. I'm gonna take this ladder, and we're gonna pull the lever on the other side. Yeah, so now the gate is opening at a very slow rate, so we're just gonna stay here and wait for that gate to open. But as you can see, the ludicrous amount of auto aim that Casual has. I am holding left, by the way. I am holding left on the thumbstick. It refuses to let me aim way past the enemy that I am originally aiming at, so if you don't like that type of aim assist, do not play on casual. But anywho, after the gates open, we're gonna go ahead and open this next gate that leads us to basically the Lycan nest. Now, this area can be annoying for the first timer. For speedrunning purposes, it also can be annoying since there's so many Lycans. There's a chance for you to get caught by one of them as they fall, like that guy right there. They'll sometimes make a jab for you to see if you can, you know, grab you, and it'll take a bite out of you, wasting a lot of time. But thankfully, the rocket pistol allows us to hold off, but apparently I still got caught out. But not to worry, we are perfectly fine. I'm gonna just use the rocket pistol to clear some of them out. Reload it just to have it ready. Have the grenade launcher on hand.
Okay, big guy.
Use it on all of these that are in a circle and just completely bypass them. They will not follow me through this door. We're just gonna keep running down here. And shimmy our way across. There's another typewriter to save. But we're gonna make our way down here. And for one final time, Abraham Lincoln makes his grand appearance.
That's not good.
We're gonna let him jump down first before we attack him. Usually when you use regular weapons, as this goes on, we will like summon Vikings to come fight for him. But because we have the Magnum, we're just gonna once again aim into his face, and there we go. He is down.
Eat
This,
shit.
this door over here will magically open, and we can continue on with the story. We're gonna get this torso flask, skip the cutscene, skip another cutscene. This gate will open, and we continue forward. Alright, after our little boat ride, we're gonna get off. Keep following through. To the left is a supply room, but keep in mind there are enemies. We're gonna go ahead and climb up this ladder, unlock this gate, and then use the iron insignia key to unlock this one. Alright, so now that we have all of the flask that have our daughter, we are going to run back to the area in which the Duke is currently residing in, which is right over here.
It's my greatest.
And
pleasure to
then
see you return alive.
put each flask into a container. Oops, wrong thing. Sorry about that.
What was that?
Skip that cutscene. Put in the leg flask. And finally the head flask. That will give us the chalice itself, which for some reason we are just carrying around somehow. But we're gonna go ahead and run through all of this once again.
What's going on?
There are some earthquakes going on, but we're just not gonna pay any attention to that. And just make our way over to this area with a symbol that seems oddly familiar. Interesting, wouldn't you say? But there's a chalice. We skip that cutscene and we descend towards Heisenberg's factory. Make sure everything is reloaded. And we make our way.
Don't worry about
Across
the
the
kid,
bridge.
Ethan. It'll be fine. Ha! Just get your ass across the bridge. Ah! Ethan Winters. Welcome. I didn't think you'd make it past Donner Moreau, but I suppose you survived worse back in America, hmm? I I'd like to speak to you about Rose and Miranda. Oh, come on in. Don't worry. It's not a trap.
What are you planning?
Alright, so after that lovely invitation, we're just going to run through all of these doors and pull back this sheet, which will activate a cutscene, which will activate another cutscene, and yep, that thing is right there.
Shit!
So we're just going to run through all of this. Fun fact, on Village of Shadows, there are more enemy placements, and some of those enemy
dead end.
placements are right here
Damn it!
during that chase. Alright, but after a rough fall, we're just gonna
What was that thing?
completely get up, totally unfazed, and make our way up. We're gonna climb this ladder. And now we encounter the same enemy types in Castle Dimitrescu, but this time with head armor. But it totally doesn't matter because once again, this weapon is so powerful, even a body shot will take them down. But here we go, past this vent. Then we climb this ladder. And here we emerge at Heisenberg's factory.
This place is messed up. I've got to get upstairs.
So we're gonna go ahead and turn to our right and walk past these steps. The Duke is to our left, and so is a save point, so go ahead and stock up if you need to, if you want to. But as you can see, we have to open these gates with a shot to that red light. But the rocket pistol is useful because when we eventually encounter the gates that have multiple lights on them, one shot from the rocket pistol will just clear all of them. Same with the grenade launcher, but the rocket pistol is just much more useful because it simply just has more bullets. Unlike the grenade launcher, which only shoots once and requires a very long reload. So we're just gonna go ahead and take these fine gents out. Head to our left, or our right, I suppose, since I did turn around. Take out these. They aren't usually a problem, but I'll just take them out because why not? Here we encounter the first machine.
Did he do this too?
And here we get our first mold, the relief mold. Now we're gonna run through all of this. This enemy is spawning behind us, the soldat. We're just gonna ignore him completely because we're just so fast. Also the fact that he won't follow us down here mostly. But we're just gonna go ahead and put the relief mold in and just wait it out. I do have to say, these steamwork sounds are kind of satisfying to listen to.
Seems useful.
But we're gonna go ahead and put the relief of a horse through that hole in the wall and run through it. Run past that enemy, jump down these ledges instead of taking the ladder, shoot these red lights. I am hitting. Alright, let me just line up a shot real quick. There we go. As you can see, that one over there has is completely full. There we go. So what we do, which if I could just not aim assist, is shoot a rocket and all of them are gone. So very useful indeed. Most of the time speedrunners will just run, you know, they'll go through this completely fine, like timing their run, but I just don't want to risk it. So I just shoot the red lights. It is slow, but overall I'm just here to have a casual speed run, not at all serious. Anywho, we're gonna uncover this grate and walk on through and see all of these soldats that are ready for assembly. We're gonna unlock this door. This is the backup generator. We need a cog to operate the generator, so we're gonna go to this area right here, open up the door, and grab this mold right here, the cog mold. We're gonna run past. Now one of the soldats is spawning, but once again, we have such a strong weapon. One shot to the weak spot is all it takes for it to go down. Now the soldats are in fact the strongest enemies in the game by like completely by a large amount. We will encounter more armored ones. When they block their heart, the only way to really take them out is a headshot, which will make them recoil, and then for a heart shot, that's the only way to really take them out. But usually we just run past them, and if they're definitely in the way, then we will take them out. So after activating the generator, the assembly line will activate. A soldat will usually spawn in behind us. There's one to our left, as you can hear. We're gonna run to our left, up these stairs.
I thought we could
Keep going to
join
the
forces
left.
against that bitch
Open
Moran.
this up. Let this guy follow us here, and then run past him through the door that we just unlocked. We're just gonna run through this specific route up these
To be our
stairs.
children. She locked us away in the village.
A soldat will spawn out of that box, but we're just gonna completely run. Open up the door. And now we have power to this bridgeway that we can now just completely activate, and we can walk across.
I'm not like my siblings. I want nothing more than to be free of that bitch. So I need power. I need enough power to destroy her.
So yeah, Heisenberg is going on a tangent about how he wants to use Rose
Are the
to
fruits
destroy
of my power.
Miranda, but
The strong will destroy the weak. That's the way of the world.
being the caring father that we are not
You
going
should
to let
have
that
never
happen.
refused me, Ethan.
Oops.
Got
Sorry
a
about
long
that.
way to go.
This ladder, I'm not really sure if there is a way to jump down it yet. I've tried different ways. As you can see, hugging the right doesn't work, hugging the left doesn't work. I'm sure someone will find a way to drop down this ladder someday. Maybe they have, but as far as I know,
Miranda
there's
thinks
no
we're
way to
nothing
do so.
but children. Oh, she doesn't care for us? No. She's long lost all her humanity. I must destroy her.
I don't give a shit about your family drama.
We're gonna go through this vent, drop down here, open up this gate. That's already open. Now before we continue on, I'm gonna take out this right here. Actually, I believe the rocket pistol will work much better. Take that one out. The middle light out. And finally, if I can just get a proper shot. It does not seem to want to go. Let me just reload my gun real quick. A little bit more back. It seems to not work. Well, it's fine. Because no matter what, we're going to be climbing up anyways, so we'll have a chance to shoot at it. But basically, at this point, we get the jetpack soldats, which are way more powerful, but not yet the most powerful. But anyway, we're gonna take out that red light. they will jump up since there's two of them, and sometimes both of them will jump up to the same platform. So it is pretty stressful, but as you can see, this one jumped up to this platform right here where the ladder is, but since we already turned off the fan, he was there a little late, so we were able to just come up here without any problem. Go this way, up these stairs. Now behind, there is this cart that we can push that will lead to a mold, the ball mold, which is used for the labyrinth. So that's where that is. Shoot the red light just to make sure we don't get cut up by that fan.
Shit, that was close.
And anywho, come through this way, shimmy along these pipes, climb up this ladder to the vent, and crawl through. I'm gonna hit this button to the elevator.
Soon, she'll start her ceremony with your rose. If that happens, it's all over. For your kid. And for the whole village. But don't worry. I'll stop it. I'll use Rose to kill Miranda. Poor Papa. You're the only one who doesn't see your kid's power.
Take Rose? I'd like to see you try.
So because we got that new mold, and we need it to open this up because it was a key mold, we're gonna need to head back down to the lower areas, which means taking another long elevator ride. But there we go. So we're up here. And we take it to B4. But at least the Duke's here.
It's dark.
But anywho, the power's out in this area, so unfortunately we have to make our way through this in the dark, which would be scary if it wasn't a speedrun. But as you can see, one shot to the head, even with the most powerful weapon, does not take the regular Soldat down, so it has to be a shot through the heart, like you just saw right there. Anyway, we're gonna use the key mold. We're going to grab it and head on back to the elevator. Now this is where we get our encounter with the Panzer Soldats. As you can see, they are very heavily armored, but one shot with the Magnum will destroy their chestplate armor, and then one more shot to the heart will take them down. There is one right here blocking our path, so we're just gonna go ahead and take it out and run through. And now that we're here, we can head on up to B1. shots at the assembly line, why not? Alright, now that we're at the top, we can use Heisenberg's key and open this up.
You really are a tough.
That room in front of us has supplies for the upcoming
I'm
boss fight,
tired of chit-chat.
but we're going to
Time
just
to
ignore
die.
that because once again we have.
You can hear it, can't you?
Now, the only proper way to damage this boss is to wait for it to charge up, do that running attack, and shoot its backside with these Magnum shots. And as you can see, it's going down
Now stay down.
after just 2 proper Magnum shots to its core. But anywho, after that's done, we run to the side here through this door, jump down this platform, climb up this small ladder, and we're finally out. We're gonna make a left here. Heisenberg will spawn behind us
Again?
and send us falling down the factory. But luckily this isn't the end of the game because we landed in water. We're going to move this piece of barrier. We actually meet up with Chris Redfield here, and then we get a tank. So yes, this game at the end is moving very quickly. So at this point, we're gonna get in this tank and
I'm
go
coming,
on
Rose.
to the Heisenberg boss fight. As you can see, the assembly line is still working. With this, we can shoot like a tank round. As you can see, we took out some from his assembly line. We have a machine gun, a guard, which is also a chainsaw. Yep, that's about it. Shoot open this gate.
You're like a
And so
goddamn cockroach!
comes the
You think you can take me on? Fine. This'll be my warm-up before I kill
So the first phase, I usually just block
Amanda. Your corpse will be another addition to my armor!
shoot at the core batteries. In order to push back Heisenberg, if you feel like it's necessary, just shoot at him with your cannon. You should be fine.
I need more! Coward! In the face of my steel glory! Guess I do have to thank that bitch, yes. I'll kill her with the power she gave me. That's what I call being a good son! How I felt spending years in a bitch's throat. The clock is ticking. Playtime's over.
But anywho, after that voice line that Heisenberg gives, playtime is over, he will head on to the middle of the arena and move us to the second phase of the fight.
Creators are fooling yourselves!
Shoot at him with the cannon.
Where my lordy? That boulder punching asshole. But you're first.
So yeah, all you have to do is shoot Magnum bullets into Heisenberg's face, and that's the end of the second phase, and actually the end of the boss fight. Because at this point there's an unskippable cutscene that just ends the encounter.
So long, Ethan Winters! You really should have taken my deal. You'll be foes in the afterlife. Rose's power is one. Right after I murdered Miranda. This can't be the end for me! I must kill her!
But anywho, that's the end of the Heisenberg fight, and the last of the lords. Now we're getting a call from Chris Redfield. In this cutscene, basically, Ethan dies. He gets his heart ripped out by Mother Miranda. That's all you need to know.
Captain, I've confirmed the death of Ethan Winters. I wasn't able to retrieve the body, but I've recorded evidence.
Share your screen, and I'll go over the situation.
Been a while since we fought together,
We're
Captain.
gonna skip this cutscene, but we're basically playing as Chris Redfield now.
Doing nothing but recon's gotten me out of shape.
But thanks to your recon, we know Miranda's plan.
Couldn't quite believe it when I heard she turned herself into Mia, though. Taking 5 shots to the head's nothing to sneeze at either. Spooky.
Everyone
Let's
watch
skip
for
another
hostile
one of
violence.
these cutscenes.
Roger.
Made contact with a group of hostile bioweapons.
Now, since I've also completed this game countless times, I also have infinite ammo for Chris Redfield's assault rifle here,
Western route is clear, moving out.
thus making this section very much a non-issue,
BSAA craft spot.
and no reason to
2
pick up
guards.
these ammo pickups.
I can take them.
Don't get cocky.
Well, we're basically going through most parts of the game. See, as you can see, this is the house on the hill,
To my seat.
this is the
That's
field.
Miranda's. Let's go.
We're just gonna ignore the werewolves.
Large mutated bioweapon sighted.
Hey, boss, it's me.
And we're
Maybe
gonna
release
check
something
out here,
fresh. About to
and
kill
make
some fire. Keep your mouth still.
not a right.
Roger.
Tundra here,
Going to
leaving
go
some
through the
supplies in one of the houses, Captain. Help yourself.
These enemies will spawn in,
Umber Eyes, I need some backup.
I see you. Keep it to the point.
and just to make sure we don't get caught out like I tend to do, I'm just gonna shoot my way through most of the enemies that spawn
My seat
right
full
here.
of increments so huge.
Thanks to aim assist, usually after you kill one enemy, it'll automatically target the next one in line of sight.
Hey, I
So
get eyes on you, boss.
it could be useful if you have a problem. But once again, I implore you that if you do play this game, please play it on normal or hardcore, because casual
Reach
aim
the target
assist
location.
just may not be that
Damn,
good.
this is big. All right, Lobo. Marking the target.
Roger that, boss.
But anywho, we're gonna mark
Takes a
this
minute to
building
target
for
the point.
target 3
Try
times,
and keep the
and
laser
then we
on
can.
bingo. Alright.
So for right now, we just have to survive
Reloading
against
now.
an
Just a
onslaught
minute.
of enemies. Here's
This
some
is
extra
so headed
supplies
that
if you
way.
absolutely need it, especially if you're playing the Village of Shadows difficulty, because although in Village of Shadows, you being close, you can keep your weapons like the very overpowered Magnum. You still have to do Chris Redfield's part just like this. Now you can get the infinite ammo thing to make it slightly easier, but keep in mind these enemies will take a lot to take down. So for Village of Shadows, I definitely recommend a healthy amount of patience before you do it.
Mold is rapidly expanding. There must be something stimulating to collapse. Hold your horses. I'm reloading. It's them. Watch your
But anywho, we get the armored lichens, which once again, on casual are just not that big of a threat. And if you saw that snapping, once again, I am telling you that is the aim assist that comes with casual difficulty. It is not me using a macro, it is not me using a modified controller. That is just the game being the game.
Can't say you guys are engaging the bioweapons. You're right, Captain, they must be after the Magnum IC2.
But I believe that's it. We can target now.
How many are there? Everyone okay?
They're coming from the mold.
And there's the last one.
Give me a break.
Good. Megamycete must be below.
Okay, now proceed forward. This is the wrong way. But we're gonna jump down
I found
here.
a way down. I'm going in. The rest of you stay back.
Captain, I compared the mold at the village with the sample
There's
from the
more
bakers
supplies if you
and
need it.
there's no sign of the genome editing we saw in the E-series. The stuff originated here.
But anyway, we have
Guarding the Megamycete, huh?
another mace enemy, or a big weapon like it. So the deal with this guy is just shoot him in the back multiple times, use some grenades. He should go down pretty much without a fight, especially on casual difficulty.
Lobo, I got a tough guy here.
But
I'm gonna need
on higher
backup.
difficulties, the best way to take this guy out
There's an opening in the roof.
well,
Use
as you
it.
can hear Chris Redfield is ordering one of his guys to use the orbital strike through the opening on top, and that's how you use it. That's what you use to destroy or kill this enemy right here. But because we're on casual, if we're good enough and fast enough, shooting the respawn behind him will cause him to die.
Good. I'll signal with the locator.
Give a guy a break.
I'll
And
keep going.
That's it.
The rest of you, stay above ground.
So if Miranda was the fake Mia, where's the real one? I doubt she saw any further use for her. I don't get any of this. How did Miranda even know Rose exists?
A moldy little bird told her, maybe?
We can figure that out later. Focus on the plan.
So yeah, turns out that the Mia that was killed earlier
Megamycete.
in the story was actually a fake Mia. That was Mother Miranda posing as Mia so that she can get closer to Rose.
Keep your distance. Do not move until I give the order.
I know it's too late now, but we really should have told Ethan the plan.
There wasn't time. We didn't expect Miranda to act so soon.
Even so, you should have told him.
Yeah. This must be Miranda's lab.
Anyway, I'm gonna shoot off this lock. Before I skip this cutscene, there is one thing to show. Oh, there's the real Mia. That's all that needed to be shown. Mia is alive, the real one. And despite me saying earlier that Ethan had his heart ripped out, we're not dead. And the reason why is this cutscene actually explains it, the one that's coming up. But basically, Ethan is mold. He's a zombie, just like the ones from Resident Evil 7. So that's why also he's able to reattach his limbs without any loss of motor function, because he's made of mold and has regenerative powers. But because now his heart has been ripped out, he is now on the clock, and he will use his dying breath or his dying minutes to attempt to save his daughter, much like a good father should. But anywho, at this moment, this is the last time you could save, and this is also the last time you can use the shop. The dude generously gives you some supplies if you need them, but because we are so overpowered, we're just not going to use them, but we still thank the dude for his services.
Out of my way.
We also would use a safety save during a normal playthrough. But for right now, we can just run through all of this and get to the final boss.
I gotta keep going.
But anywho, we skip
You
this
fulfilled
cutscene,
your purpose.
and now we fight Mother Miranda. But
You
just
disposed
like
of my false children and awakened
just
the
like all the
glorious
other
Empire.
bosses, we're just gonna completely Magnum.
Now, please
I will
do
say
not
this
worry,
boss fight is one of
Rose.
the best
I
boss
assure
fights I've
you,
ever
I'll
seen
provide her with truth.
for most games, so
So
I
now
definitely
you can
recommend
die
you go check it out fully.
I'm not letting you get away.
Now, Mr. Winters, I think it's time you left
Use a
things in
flashbang
my hands.
on her to get us out
The
of
hell I will.
If I combine Rose with the Megamycete, my daughter will be made manifest at last. I've
we're
waited
gonna
a
hide behind
a
this tree.
century.
Usually
All of
she
the
doesn't
best
have
of
enough time to get to this phase, but I am taking my time a little. And also missing some shots, so even with
Why
insist.
do you interfere? Surely you have no need of Rose now. So close to death.
She's my goddamn.
But after she screams like that, it usually means that this is the final phase.
To ensure I never see you.
We just have to keep attacking her to destroy that. Just keep mag dumping into her, and eventually she will go down, and that's the end of Resident Evil 8. Now there's just 2 cutscenes to skip. And thus, oh well, one more cutscene to skip. But that is it. The father's story is now done. Final time is 1 hour and 50 minutes and 48 seconds of in-game time. Once again, this was just a casual speedrun. No, in no way was I trying to be serious about this. This was just my way of showing you that this game can be run fast, and I hope the gameplay, or at the very least, the fun sense of running through this game as quickly as possible might have convinced you that this game is very good. Maybe I convinced you to go check it out on other YouTube channels, the cutscenes for the story. And apart from that, that is it from me. I hope you all enjoyed your time here, and I hope you have a good night.